Breaking news, the Pokemon community is in shambles. Welcome back everybody, I'm the Rich Nobody and I hope y'all are having a blessed day today. And I really do hope you are, because the rest of the Pokemon community may not be right now. So this last week we've had a crazy amount of events that have just come out and everybody was talking about them and all that stuff, and I just wanted to go through everything that happened this week in this video just so that you can get caught up, and if any new information has come out since the information was released, we can talk about it here. So first off, we'll go ahead and start out with the CGC fake cards, scandal, because supposedly this is the biggest scam in Pokemon history, so obviously this is something to talk about. Okay, so what exactly happened? Now, what we know for right now is that CGC got some cards that were, they got sent in to get graded. They graded them, they authenticated them, and they sent them out, whatever, and then they got sold, and then people found out that these cards were fake. Now, this wouldn't have been a big deal if these cards weren't going for thousands of dollars on the market. These cards I'm talking about were considered test print cards, or like alpha test cards, beta test cards, gamma, whatever that alphabet is. And basically somebody printed a bunch of these fake test print cards, sent them into CGC, they got authenticated for some reason, they got sent out, and because, they were graded vintage cards, they sold for a lot of money. But unfortunately, these cards weren't real, and the people that ended up buying these cards found this out and were absolutely distraught. I mean, we're talking a loss of like potential millions of dollars right here. This is worse than the time that Logan Paul bought that first edition base set booster box case and lost like $2 million, and they ended up being fake. This is worse than that. Okay, so the main question here is CGC going to be responsible for this? Now, in my personal opinion, I do think that they should hold some responsibility for this, because they were the ones that authenticated it in the first place, and the fact that they didn't catch it is a really bad thing. And I think I heard somewhere that at some point these fake cards got into PSA's hands, or like at least a couple of them got into PSA's hands, and PSA actually rejected them because they were afraid that they were fake. Now, I don't know if like CGC and PSA are on speaking terms. I don't know, they are competitors after all, but if PSA warned them about this and they didn't do anything about it, I feel like they should be holding more responsibility because of negligence. But let's just say that PSA didn't warn them because they're not on speaking terms, competitors, blah, blah, blah. I do feel like CGC does need to hold responsible some of the damages that people lost when buying and selling these cards, whatever. But I do feel like in order to continue to hold a somewhat good reputation for CGC, they need to speak up and be like, okay, we'll give y'all some of the money. It wasn't entirely our fault, which who even knows at this point? But since they are a big company, they can definitely afford to pay out some of the damages, because it was in their hands after all. They could have just avoided it. Now, I don't think there's anything new in this story that's developing. I think CGC might have sent out a statement. If they did, I'll try to find it and put it up on screen. But as far as I know, I don't think there's anything else that's new in this, but I'll definitely keep y'all updated, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. So, I mean, hopefully this gets resolved, because this is an absolutely insane thing to have happened. And the fact that a grading company authenticated these cards, I'm never going to grade with CGC ever. This is terrible for their reputation. But next up on our breaking news list, we have GameStop versus Costco. And this basically revolves around the Blooming Waters box that came out at Costco, a little while ago, and GameStop will be having it very, very soon. But we all saw the videos of people going into Costco and fighting each other to get these boxes in their hands. And to be honest, it wasn't a good look for Costco, because they should have definitely set some boundaries to make that a little bit more of a pleasant experience, or at least a more civil experience, because that just looked like wild dogs attacking each other in those videos. I mean, that was crazy. So GameStop got involved in this because they actually tweeted out at them basically saying that they don't appreciate that people are fighting over Pokemon. They're going to be having the Blooming Waters coming out February 7th, and they're going to have a limit that customers can buy so that they don't have this whole Costco situation happen at their stores. And then they basically just told Costco to do better. Now, looking at Costco and GameStop, which one is like the better play to get these boxes? I feel like GameStop might actually be the better play, but we'll get into some of the issues that GameStop has as well. But with Costco not having very many boundaries when it comes to buying these Pokemon stuff, you're not going to find it in any stores, you know? If cards at Costco are getting bought up like these videos are showing, you're not going to find it anyway. So, you know, you're going to have better luck at GameStop if they have a limit. Now, a couple of former GameStop employees reached out to me after watching this short on the whole GameStop versus Costco situation, because I did touch on this a little bit there earlier, but they basically just let me know that the whole 2 per person limit when it comes to buying these sort of things doesn't really work well with employees, because some employees will actually just set stuff aside in the back and just refuse to sell it so that they can buy it themselves at the end of their shift. Now, whether that's true or not, if it is, it does make it a lot harder to find these Pokemon cards at a GameStop, but you know, you kind of just got to pick the less bad of the two, because Costco, you know, after looking at I don't want to get into a WWE match with somebody just trying to buy Pokemon cards. You know, it's just not worth it for me. Now, one big question that I want to touch on is, will Costco actually respond to this and put in better boundaries in the future when it comes to buying Pokemon cards? Maybe. I have heard from a couple of people in my comment sections in my shorts that their local Costco's actually had better boundaries than the majority of other Costco's, where they actually had limits, or they had, you know, a line for people to buy it at. It was a lot smoother of an experience at those Costco's, but given that there are other Costco's that don't have these boundaries in place, I do think Costco as a whole needs to respond to this and say, you know what, you're right, we will set better boundaries in the future, because we don't need to be having people fighting over cardboard, you know? Like, we're all supposed to have fun and, you know, be together in this community and all that stuff. Seeing people fight and stuff, I don't think those people are actually part of the community. It's most likely probably scalpers. We all just need to get along. I don't get why we need to fight over cardboard. So, you know, if there's any scalpers that happen to be watching this video, first off, I don't like you. Second off, please stop fighting people. It's just not worth it. But all right, that's enough of that story. Let's go ahead and get into one of the lesser known parts of Pokemon that actually started picking up traction in the last week. And that is the Shrouded Fable set. Now, I say lesser known with Shrouded Fable, but we all know that we all know Shrouded Fable. It's just nobody wants to buy it except for this last week. So surprisingly, Shrouded Fable sales actually started going up like exponentially in this last week, to the point where we had multiple sellouts on the Pokemon Center website, except for the Pokemon Center ETBs, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But a lot of Shrouded Fable stuff started selling out on the Pokemon Center website. Can't really find it anywhere in retail unless, you know, you happen to be lucky enough to find it. But what's crazy to me is that the cards in Shrouded Fable, like the single cards, actually started going up in value as well. I'm pretty sure we saw the Persian card get like a 300% jump. We had the Houndoom go up like crazy. Like, overall, the cards in Shrouded Fable have just started skyrocketing, because I'm guessing either people finally found out that Shrouded Fable is actually a good set. Yeah, it's a good set. Or maybe they're just desperate enough because they can't find their prismatic evolutions or, you know, anything else out in the wild. So they ended up, you know, just deciding to pick up Shrouded Fable so that they can finally open up some packs. That could very well be the case, but I do genuinely think that Shrouded Fable is a good set. And back on those ETB situations, so the ETBs on Pokemon Center haven't sold out yet. And seeing all of this craziness happen with Shrouded Fable, I actually decided to pick up a Pokemon Center ETB. I only got one because I'm broke, but the fact that Shrouded Fable Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are still $60 on their website, like, you might as well just pick some up, you know? Again, not financial advice, but if you can buy a box for $60 and then sell it on the secondary market for literally like $15 more, which I think is what it's currently going for right now, you'd be stupid not to pick that up. But enough on Shrouded Fable. Everybody's already talking about it too much anyway. Let's get into this next breaking news, which actually has to do with something coming out next year, and that's the Pokemon 30th anniversary set. So back in 2021, we had the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, and we had that celebration set come out, and everybody loves it, and those cards are going for crazy amounts right now, and yeah, it was an overall amazing set. But next year, we have the 30th anniversary coming out, and we might already know what's going to be in the set. Maybe not down to the exact cards or the exact, print style that they're going to be using, but I did just hear from somebody not too long ago, and by not too long ago, I mean like yesterday, that we might already know what set that the Pokemon 30th anniversary is going to be based around. And so the Pokemon 30th anniversary is rumored to be based around the OG Neo Destiny set. Now, how do we know this? Well, I don't actually know, no. But yesterday, I was watching a live stream with Nostalgianomics and PokePlumber, and they were talking about the 30th anniversary just a little bit, and they were being really, vague, because, obviously you can't just leak information like that. It's extremely confidential. Maybe not extremely, but probably shouldn't be talking about it. But somebody had made a guess on what they were talking about in the comments, and they said that he was pretty much spot on. I'll go ahead and play you the clip that I watched from the live stream just so you can get an idea on what I'm actually talking about.
Those reprint versions, and then throw some serialized in there. It would work like that. Maybe 30th anniversary?
30th anniversary, I have a little info. I don't know how legit it is. If this is true, 30th anniversary, good luck. Just good luck.
What's the info?
I can't say.
What?
I can't say. Just know, guys, go back to one of your favorite vintage sets and imagine having reprints of one of your favorite vintage sets.
I'm not a Aquapolis Skyridge fanboy, dude. I'm sorry.
It has nothing to do with e-readers.
Wow. I don't know what you're talking about then. The packs will take up 120 of the space. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat guessed it.
Somebody in the chat? What's the chat?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, Neo.
So yeah, that looked pretty legit to me. I don't know. It could just be me. I don't know if we can trust this information fully just yet, because again, it is, a year away, and they obviously don't want to just be spreading a whole bunch of either misinformation or confidential information. So I would take this information with a grain of salt, but it's very possible we could be seeing some sort of a Neo Destiny 30th anniversary little thing, which I personally think can be cool. Now let's go ahead and wrap this up, and let's get into the last breaking news that I have for you. And it's not really necessarily in the Pokemon community, but it's just my personal business. I'm going to give y'all some updates. So as you all know, at the beginning of 2025, I started this, Pokemon business, and we're going to see where it is at the end of 2025. And we're currently a month in. I have another video coming out maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, that is going to go over the last month and what I've done and what I'm preparing for. But this right here, for this last segment, I kind of just want to talk to you about what's coming up next and what's coming up very soon. So I am planning on building up a website for the Rich Nobody brand, and I have a logo set up. I'm going to be using Wix most likely to be making this website, and it'll probably be out maybe by the end of February. We'll see. But I also have our very first Whatnot live stream coming out next Saturday. I'll have some more information on screen here because I haven't fully figured out the details yet, but I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And we'll see how good it goes. I don't know. And lastly, I know I talked about it a lot in the last couple long forms, but I have some more cards that I wanted to grade, and I actually just dropped off my submission at GameStop so that they can get graded by PSA and whatever. And I posted a picture of them up on Instagram. I'll go ahead and just post the picture right here on screen as well for you, just in case. But if these cards do come back a good grade, we could be seeing some major profits, so I'm excited for them. But anyway, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and if you really enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, because we've got daily videos. We've got daily videos coming out. I don't know how I managed to do this, but we are currently on a 31-day upload streak. That's insane. I've never done that before in my life. But yeah, tons of cool content coming soon. Make sure you follow my social medias. Those are always in the description. And that's all I got for you. I'll see y'all in the next one.